Joe, good morning to you, Jack.
G'day, guys.
Congratulations on the win. It must feel like an enormous relief.
Yeah, absolutely. I've played, I think, 15 games now. It's my second win, so they don't come along too often, but, I cherish every one.
Hey, Jack, Andy was talking about before that you being a passionate Melbourne man, some of the players might have taken offence to some of the comments about bruise-free footy and all that type of stuff. Does that have any bearing on the way you go about an individual game?
Yeah, I think it's individual. I think I heard Nathan Jones come out and say, it spurred him on a bit. But for me personally, I was just pretty focused on the game ahead, and I wasn't really focused on, what was said or what was done previously. It was all about, Saturday afternoon and what they were going to dish up and what we were going to do.
Jack, a lot of optimism in the pre-season. You had that really good win over Richmond, and everyone was things were looking much more rosy than they had been in the past. And you lost to Hawthorn, got smashed by Hawthorn in the pre-season, and then the regular season you lost to St Kilda, and then a bit more doom and gloom. Were you starting to think, here we go again, it's going to be the same as last year in the past, or did you remain inwardly confident that things could pick up pretty quickly?
Yeah, well, I thought with the Richmond game, I think we'd been training our game plan all pre-season, and we went out against Richmond and we, did exactly what Ruzie'd been teaching us, and we won. And I think slowly we started to fall away back into old habits, and watching the game against West Coast a couple of weeks ago, I felt, it was exactly like watching last year's performances. So I think it was big emphasis on just getting back to our structures and getting back to what Rusie had instilled in us during the pre-season, and it's obviously worked.
Jack, how good was it to be back out there? Because to me, certainly I know you had the few problems over the summer, you had the concussion, you just looked like you just wanted to get out and play.
Did he what?
Absolutely. It was very frustrating, watching the boys not be able to perform, and there was a couple of opportunities early with St Kilda, and we could have won a couple of games, but Rusie right from the get-go said, taking the expectations off me and along with all the other young boys, so he was in no rush to play me and just made sure I was fit, because I did have a bit of a interrupted pre-season, so I worked really, really hard and was putting in extra sessions and just trying to get my fitness up as quick as I could, so Rusie could get me in the team and I could go out there and help the boys, which I felt like I did on the weekend.
Jack, you go and win your own ball regardless, but does it help to have a couple of bigger bodies in the middle of the ground now? I suppose Daniel Cross, Bernie Vince, those sort of guys.
Absolutely, I think it gives me a bit of a chop out, and I'm starting on the bench now and spending a lot more time resting forward and on the wing, so it just gives the team more flexibility and gives everyone a chop out and a bit of a break, and so when we do come in the midfield, we're firing and smashing in.
What was the group's mindset going into that game on Saturday, Jack? They kicked through the first four, and there was this sense that, it looks like this is going to go according to the sort of script that most people had written for that game. But I never got that sense from you guys that for 1 second did you believe that the way the game started was going to be a reflection of how it was going to play out. Your tackling right throughout the four quarters was awesome. What was the kind of mindset of the group that was taken into that one?
I think it was just everyone was playing their roles. I think with previous weeks we kind of fallen away from our structures a bit, and it only takes a couple to not play their role, and all of a sudden the whole game plan breaks down. So there's a big emphasis, during the week and before the game, that if everyone plays a role and we all play as a team, we'll end up winning. And I think maybe they got on top early, and players might have realised, if we don't get our structures right, then we're going to have another loss. So we end up pulling it together and playing really well for the rest of the game.
And what about Paul Roos's demeanour? We've seen him a couple of times. He's got this sort of mild, real sort of intellectual approach to the game, but every now and again...
Dean Turlick last week. Correct.
Something just switches in him. Have you been at the end of one of a Paul Roos tirade?
No, I haven't yet. I'm not looking forward to when I do get one, but Roosy's been, really, really understandable and really, I think he's a realist. So, he understands situations quite well and understands when to be cool and, calm and collected, when to, really, fire someone up and be a bit more direct.
Now, we have a little segment called Fast Five. Actually, before we get into that, you've got I've just got on your Instagram.
Coco Bananas on Instagram, this bloke.
He's very, very good, but you've got seemingly a real healthy love for your pet dog. A couple of dogs there. Just little fluffy little things, mangy little type setup, but you just got a big love there?
Yeah, no, I've had a couple of Cocker Spaniels. One recently passed away, which is
jeez.
sad. But
Daisy.
I've got
Oh, sorry
Done
about
your
that.
research. Sorry about that, Jack.
Sorry.
that's fine. Well, one left there, and they've been a big part of my life, and no matter what kind of day I had, they're always up and about and wagging their tail. So I love them to bits.
Good
Good
on
on
you,
you.
Gazy.
Starting to shed a tear
good
now.
on
I didn't know
He's
that
getting
was
emotional
in some
now.
sort of...
Not sure he's going to be able to make training
Is it
today,
okay if he
Andrew?
looks after the last one?
He's taking this interview in an unwanted direction.
Sorry about that, Jackie boy. Hey, now, Jack, Fast Five, we would learn a little bit about you and your team, hopefully. Just the first thing that comes to the top of your head, give it absolutely very, very little thought whatsoever. Are you up for it?
Yeah, I'll give it a crack. I'm not very good at
you'll be right.
improvisation, but we'll have a go.
No, here we go. Who spends the most time grooming themselves around the club?
Jimmy Tumpus.
Who's the most likely to cry watching a movie?
Jimmy Tumpus.
Who's the most likely to fall asleep during the coaches' meetings?
Jake Kenny Harris.
Who's wasted no time in becoming the coach's pet?
Crossy.
Crossy.
I would have thought that was the
Doing
case.
well too. And who's the tightest teammate you have on your list?
Colin Garland.
So you were magnificent.
No
mate.
hesitation there.
Just straight at the footy. No mucking around. Like
Considering
you.
he was in mourning, it was a good
Exactly.
He did well.
Sorry about the loss of your recent cocker, and
No
mate,
worries.
all the very best for the rest of this year and beyond, mate. It was great to see you play the way you
Thanks
played
for
your
having
footy
me,
on
guys.
Saturday. Good on you. Jack Viney.
Good on you,
what
Jackie
a fine,
boy.
fine young player he is, and Melbourne supporters are lucky to have him.